military-industrial complex that would erode our securities and get out of control. It wasn't Abby Hoffman who said that. It was Ike Eisenhower, because he had already been stabbed in the back. He had been this close to seeing these technologies and then been denied access, as was Kennedy, as was Carter, as was Clinton, etc., and so on and so forth. The question becomes, who then is sitting on this stuff and why? There is a group. The core of them is about 25 to 50 people. There's a policy board of 200 or 300 people. About 50% of them now, 40 to 50%, favor what I've been recommending, and that's disclosing this information. That's the good news. The bad news is that the other 50% are the more rogue, violent elements, and they don't want it out. It is a battle, and I've been in the middle of it since 1990 in a fairly significant way, accidentally, on my way to the ER. By the way, I tell people now, I really miss being in the ER. And how twisted is that? But I say now that our patient has to be Gaia and her 6 billion children. Someone's got to take care of this earth. We are absolutely cannibalizing the planet that is our home when we have the solution sitting in a black box. I'm talking about what we as a people are doing to our home planet when we have the solutions locked away from us. Or to have an inventor. There may be an inventor in this room that has a breakthrough that my company is looking for. Courage, courage, courage. The indispensable element, courage. We had chairmen of committees in the Congress that I personally met with. People like Representative Dan Burton, who was chairman of the government, the House Reform and Oversight Committee for the government, who said, I want everything you have on this. I said, yes, sir. Give you everything we got. He gets visited, is told to stand down and shut up, and he does. People have been intimidated, and as Brigadier General Lufkin says, through the installation of abject fear, more than anything, this has been kept out of the public domain. Meanwhile, we're going over Niagara Falls without a canoe or a paddle or anything, not even a barrel. It's time to find our courage. And it's time to find our voice. And this is why the movement that they're wanting to create is so important. People need to know that technologies and sciences and physics that are way beyond anything that you can learn at MIT or Caltech have been around for decades. And they have been withheld from the public, not for national security reasons, but for reasons of greed, power politics, special interests, and what have you. And every generation that has inherited this problem has said, you know what? And I'm paraphrasing an admiral I met with. This is too big a fish for me to fry. I just want to retire and go fishing in Montana. Let someone else deal with it. And I have been with chairmen of committees, senators on the Intelligence Committee, personally briefed, sitting senators on the Intelligence Committee of the U.S. Congress, personally have briefed through numbers of people, all the senior people at the Pentagon. We're talking the head of Intelligence Joint Staff. We're talking the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. I have personally met with these people. Now, they all support the idea of the wonderful benefits that would redound to humanity by the release of this information and these technologies. But none of them want to go into the buzzsaw of the vast special interests who want to keep them secret.
Etanolen kommer inte lösa världsproblemen när det gäller klimatförändringarna.
Men jag tänker också en organisatorisk sida. Kan det kanske vara så att Södertälje kommun kan vara med i utvecklingsfasen för hur olika idéer kommer fram?
Ja, alltså det där är ju jättesvårt, för att som kommun kanske vi inte kan utveckla idéer, utan vi måste ju liksom vi är ju ganska hårt alltså vi måste ju, det här med upphandlingslagen och så vidare, vi kan ju inte utveckla idéer och komma med nya produkter och uppfinningar och så vidare. Jag menar, det är ju flera som hör av sig till mig och vill att jag ska driva den typen av utveckling, men det funkar inte så, utan Men däremot så är ju vi naturligtvis intresserade av om det kommer fram nya idéer. Men på något
brobyggare kan man kanske vara. Man kanske kan vara brobyggare mellan olika organisationer så de kan så att säga mötas på ett schysst plan och se till att alla spelar rätt. Absolut,
ja visst är det så. Men man måste ju hitta rätt liksom, nivå om man säger. För att i kommunen kan vi inte göra på... Alltså vi är inte fria på något vis att göra som vi själva vill, utan vi måste ju hela tiden jobba med det här med upphandling, den offentliga upphandlingslagen och så vidare. Så att det är inte så helt enkelt. Men vi är ju positiva när det gäller nya tankar och så vidare. Och det självklart så är det ju så. Mm. Och det bästa vore ju om man kunde köra bilar på vätgas.
Inventor is built a device with potentially revolutionary implications. There is nothing startling about a machine that can extract the hydrogen from water. What is highly unusual is that it should do so with ordinary tap water. The conventional method is called electrolysis. Meyer has turned that process on its head. Unlike electrolysis, his device doesn't use up large amounts of electric current, nor does it produce an enormous amount of waste heat. For 20 years, he has been refining a method to fracture water, which produces vast amounts of hydrogen on demand. This is the simple device he used to convince a reluctant patent office that his revolutionary concept actually works. Alloy rods, acting as electrodes, are housed in a perspex container that's filled with water. Normal mains voltage is fed in through a transformer, but critically, there is virtually no current consumed, less than half an amp. The result is dramatic. Hydrogen pours off with the flick of a switch. Meyer claims the key is his electronics, which pulses electricity rapidly across the rods at up to 20,000 cycles per second. In a way that's not readily apparent, this process transforms the equation. Whereas in conventional electrolysis, 3 times as much energy is consumed as is produced in the form of hydrogen fuel, in Meyer's apparatus the reverse is true. It appears to produce several 100% more energy than it consumes.
Stan has something that's characteristic of the people that sound like they've done something to tap zero-point energy. Has high frequency, high voltage, and there's a combination of the two at which something occurs.
Det har funnits teknologi långt bort för flera tusen år sedan och man kan hitta ristningar som ser ut som flygplan. Och när man då har ritat av det som har funnits i de här, som har fungerat bättre än det vi hade. Så att det har alltså funnits tydligen då andra civilisationer då som har kunnat göra det här förut.
Det finns så många motintressen eftersom det just det här med oljeindustrin och det gamla traditionella, det är ju lätt det som är det som tar över och det är ju lite trist. Nu har man ju ändå sett att det här med miljöbilar har ju ändå fått en marknad i och med att bensinpriset blev så högt och att man kunde tjäna på då till exempel att köra på etanol. Men det är ofta så är det ju så att det är de ekonomiska intressena som gör att man förändrar sitt beteende. Och det är ju lite trist att det är på det viset.
Ja, men här har man då skapat biltullar till Stockholm när det alltså funnits sån här teknik på ritbordet. Jag menar, det
Men allting är inte logiskt.